How exactly to define the word organism has been debated by biologists. Most definitions involve listing characteristics of paradigm organisms like animals. Some of these characteristics are indivisibility, which means it can't be divided, functional integration, which means all of the parts work towards one goal, contiguity, the parts are physically connected and part of the same thing, development from a single cell, the ability to reproduce, and genetic uniformity, which means their genetic code's the same throughout. However, there are many organisms that don't fit into all of these classifications. For example, even in our own bodies, mutations that occur in cell division makes it so our cells technically don't have genetic uniformity. This image shows different mutations in their clone growths in skin cells on one eyelid. All of these different circles represent different versions of our DNA in the skin cells. Another example that doesn't really fit are lichens. These are organisms that arise from a symbiosis of fungi with either algae or bacteria. They sort of look like moss, but are technically colonies of organisms instead of a single one. However, the lichen body itself has unique properties that make it its own organism in a way. But it's not indivisible. It can even reproduce by vegetation when pieces break off. And since it's made from different types of microorganisms, it's not made from a single cell, and it's definitely not genetically uniform. David Keller and Joan Strassman try to tackle these problems in the definition of an organism with their concept of organismality. They propose that the true essence of an organism is the parts working together for the integrated whole, with high cooperation and low conflict. This is easiest to explain if we look at examples. Here's a chart from their paper focusing on multiple species groups. Lichens fit the description of an organism here, as their component microorganisms work together with high cooperation and little conflict. Another example are mitochondria in a single-celled organism. These organelles actually have their own DNA, which violates the genetic uniformity idea, but they work together with other cell parts for the entire organism. On the opposite end, a group of lions and gazelles would not be considered an organism because they don't cooperate and have high conflict. Also, having only one of these paradigms doesn't fit the definition of an organism. Many species of katydids associate with wasp nests for protection, which is a low conflict partnership, but no cooperation. And up here, cleaner fish and their hosts are an example of cooperation, but there's often conflict between them. Some cleaner fish get selfish and take bites out of their host fish, so we wouldn't call them an organism either. This definition of organisms simplifies the problems of all those factors and exceptions the old definitions had to deal with. It's to the point, and it can be applied to organisms at all of the different hierarchies. Thanks for watching. Consider liking and subscribing to the EVO seminar series where we discuss a variety of topics relating to evolution.